Got it?
Nope, we're not going the right way.
He's gonna inspect the apple.
I think it was drop falls on the floor. Almost.
I got your back, dog. Don't even worry.
Hey guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I want to talk about something. It's a topic that I've been asked before, just by random people, actually by family members. But it's, what does it feel like to be disabled? And it's kind of something that you can't answer directly because every single disabled person is different. So I'll be talking about things from my point of view and how I view them. So when I was born, I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. And growing up, that just meant that when I walked, I had a bit of a limp. My left leg never wanted to pick up all the way, and my toe would drag. So that just meant I couldn't run very far. Walking was kind of difficult, but I was used to it. I mean, that's just how I always walked. And I got tired a lot because when you walk with your left leg dragging, I always have to like pop up on my right leg to compensate. And so growing up, I never really thought about it. And so for me, that was just my normal way of getting around. And I didn't really realize it was different until I started going to school and saw other people and other kids and like hearing what other kids would say about it. And so that kind of was like the first time it was really put into my mind that I was physically different, disabled wise. But outside of school, it never really bothered me because, like I say, family was used to it. That was just my normal, and so it was never really brought up. And so that was kind of the extent of my disability until the age of 13, when I had my brain tumor removed from the brain stem, and that is what caused my quadriplegia. And my condition, it actually is kind of progressive. Like right after the surgery, I was able to move like my fingertips, but I still had like strength in my limbs, like muscle tone and all of that stuff, just not the ability to move them. And as time went by, I was able to regain some movement in my arms and a little bit of strength in my legs. Like to shower, I would stand up while mom would stand me up in the corner of the shower stall, and I could stand there pretty well unassisted while she washed me and everything like that. And I had quite a bit of arm movement, like I was in a manual wheelchair at the time. So I was able to reach, like lean over, reach down with my pointer finger and hook like the push bar on the wheelchair wheels and move my chair around a little bit. Not enough to really get around, but like if I was in the house, I could turn my chair around enough and I could like scoot my body forward to move the wheelchair. But then, like I say, it is progressive. So as time has gone on, I just lost the strength in my arms, strength in my legs, that kind of stuff. The last time I ever stood was in the shower, and that was right before I slipped and fell in the shower, and so that was the thing that scared me, so I stopped doing it. And then from then on, I was always just in a shower chair, and I didn't really feel safe standing up by myself, which could be a lot of the reason for the loss of strength in my legs. And the fact that I really didn't have access to physical therapy at the time. Where I grew up, it's quite rural, and the nearest therapy was about 30 miles away. And to get there, it's up and over a hill, so wintertime driving really isn't possible. And it's also a lot of driving and fuel and all that stuff. Without that physical therapy constantly going on, things just progressed and I got weaker and weaker, and until I'm at the point that I am now, which I think I'm pretty fairly stable now. Not a whole lot has changed in the last about 10 years. I started going back to physical therapy, but there's not a whole lot that he can do. So, so I've kind of given up on that idea for right now, especially with COVID and everything going on. I don't really feel comfortable going into doctor's offices and that sort of thing. So when somebody asks me what it feels like to be disabled, for me, like I say, it's just something I deal with every day. It's also something I think about. I mean, it's always on my mind. My disability, my limitations, that kind of thing. But it doesn't ever get me down. I never get depressed about it or anything. And for me, my day is just like anyone else's day. I have my normal daily routine. I get up, shower, eat breakfast, spend time on my computer, watch TV, whatever. So basically anything that you do as an able-bodied person, I do, but I just do it in my wheelchair. And same for like getting around town. I'm just in my chair doing my normal thing. Shopping, going to movies and all that kind of stuff. And my disability never really comes to mind, especially when I'm out in the community, until I run into a situation of a building that's inaccessible, someplace that just doesn't have a ramp, or they don't have an elevator, or like when I go to a restaurant and the waiter or waitress talks over me. They don't talk to me. They usually ask whoever I'm with. They'll say, well, what does he want to eat, or what would he like to drink? And when I answer them, they're always like kind of shocked. And then after that, they'll talk directly to me, just have a conversation. Or like when people stare at me, like I don't really let it bother me. If people stare, I'll just look over and smile or something. And 9 times out of 10, they'll smile back and then just look away. It mostly bothers people that I'm with that people stare at me. But like I say, it's just something that comes along with a disability or being different in general. People stare. But I mean, it's just out of curiosity. People don't see, especially people like me in the wheelchair I'm in, with the robot arm and all that stuff. I'm quite the oddity in most circles. So I also get asked like how my disability affects my relationships. So like with my mom and my brothers and sisters and that kind of thing. Like I said, it's been 20 some odd years, so we don't really think about it anymore. And it's not weird for me to have my mom help me, or my sisters or my brother or whatever. It's just, that's how it's always been, and we're all just a real comfortable family. And we just do whatever we have to do to get things done. Other times my disability kind of comes to the forefront, and I wouldn't say it really depresses me, but it just kind of annoys me a little bit, is with dating. I'm on a bunch of different dating apps, like Tinder and Plenty of Fish. And a lot of times people will match or swipe or whatever they do without actually looking through all of my pictures. And then as soon as like they get a little too eager to meet or video chat or something, I feel like I need to ask them if they've looked at my pictures, if they know I'm in a wheelchair, whatever, because nobody reads the descriptions or the bio things anymore. But as soon as I ask them that, then they will either say yes and we'll just continue a conversation, or they just unmatch or just ghost or whatever. And so when something like that happens, and I know like it's something to do with my disability that they're uncomfortable with. And so that just annoys me, that my disability itself limits people that could be potential partners, if that makes sense. But I don't think about it too long and just move on, and there's plenty of people out there to match with. So if somebody was wanting to know exactly what it's like to be disabled like me, I would just say, sit in a chair, and if you need something, make sure there's someone else there to do it for you. If you need a drink, or if you're hungry, or have to go to the bathroom, or whatever, if you have an itch, you know, you always have to make sure that there's someone there to take care of what you need. But that's just basically it wrapped up in a package. Is, you know, I just can't move. Like, I'm fully functional once I'm in my chair and strapped up and driving around, pretty much. And as a disabled person, you also deal with some things that other people don't normally deal with. Like people just automatically assuming that you can't talk, or assuming that you're simple or whatever. I have a lot of people come up to me and they'll get pretty close to my face and almost be yelling, but talk really slow. And also people coming up and asking if they can pray for me. And that's something disabled people, I think, don't quote me, but I think globally disabled people deal with that a lot. People just randomly coming up and putting their hands on you and praying for you or something. And I mean, I'm fine with it. Do what you need to do, but just don't touch me. Just like any other human, you wouldn't walk up and just randomly grab somebody and start praying for them. So I just think that's something that people should stop doing. I'm just like automatically assuming that people in wheelchairs or with whatever disability can't talk, or that they need prayer, or they want to be touched in general. But anyways, guys, if you have any other questions or you'd like to know more, just drop them down in the comment section below, or reach out to me on any of my other social platforms. I'm always on Instagram, Facebook, just answering messages. And also, if you wouldn't mind, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps to get my video out in front of more people. I'm really trying to get my channel built up, And on top of that, trying to be more consistent with some videos for you guys. But anyways, hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
I remember